A quick rundown on the model. Number one, at the centre of our universe is the consumer. And that's probably the strongest lesson that we need to take. If you listen to the consumer and give them what they want, you'll start to create some value for your business. And we've been able to do that. Picture us as just a very big hospitality business and service business. And one of the services that we provide is care, 24/7 care, secure dementia, you name it, palliative care. We do everything, but in a retirement village setting. So we're a home care operator operating within a retirement village, similar to some of the models that have been discussed and outlined this morning. At our Greenway Views Village, we've got 400-ish residents, 220 staff. We deliver about 10,000 hours of care per month, scheduled care per month. In that one village alone, over about 22,000 scheduled services as that home care provider. So there's about 2/3 of residents there receive care and services from us. But we try and keep things as simple as we possibly can. As I mentioned, we've been going for 7 years now, and we're starting to, I think, come out of that chaos of startup. Two years ago, we came out of that. We're now really focusing on the scale. This pretty much summarises our model. Just think of 3 different silos. And we try and keep it as simple as we possibly can. If you listen to the consumer, they will tell you, we want simplicity, we want certainty, we want transparency. So property aspect, money in, money out. You give me $1 million when you leave, I'll give you $1 million back within 6 months or earlier, as required by the Act. You can explain that to a consumer within about 30 seconds and they get it. So if I give you $1 million, you'll give me the money back. Yep, done. Move on, next piece. Is the services aspect, which is our LDK Village membership model. Again, from a simplicity perspective, they have 2 options. You can pay it up front or you can defer that payment and we will take it out of that property piece when you leave. One of the big takeout points, I think, for our model, and I'll get in a little bit more detail, the upfront component of that membership model is something that you probably do want to take away from today. You need the upfront cash to invest in the value proposition for your consumer because it is a big investment and it does take a little bit of courage to get your head around it and understand it and then take the leap to invest in that. Right now at the landings, we have about 85% of incoming residents are paying that membership amount upfront. So you don't have to be an actuary to work out that bringing forward those cash flows starts to create some really good value within your business. And I'll explain what we do with the cash and the cash flow drivers within our business as well. The membership model just delivers you a whole range of benefits like you would if you joined a golf club or other membership-based organisations. So we can again articulate to the resident the tangible benefits that they receive from being an LDK member. The strongest component of that value proposition is our one move promise. So you move in with us, you won't have to move to a nursing home. We'll provide all the care and services that you need in your home. But if your care and services change, usually through memory loss or mobility, you may need to downsize within the village. It's a simple change of your licence agreement. So your legals and your financials move with you. You don't have to go through the legal and financial exit entry type component from retirement living into residential aged care. The one move promise is, I think, the strongest foundational part of our model. What the membership model does is, as I said, it creates that enterprise value within your business. The landings, we bought the village in a period of 6 years. It has increased remarkably in value. Same 4 walls, same people. We have injected care and services and a very strong value proposition. And analytically, the retailers are probably 30 to 35% above what they would be in exactly the same 4 walls next door because you have a strong value proposition and that's what the consumer wants. We also experience within our model a greater volume of sales. So we're selling more for more in its most simplest when we compare ourselves to the median and the best operators within the different regions that we create, largely because of the membership model. The brand value that it has created for us across the business as well is that people are now coming to us saying, I want to live at LDK. We've just sold over $200 million of property leading into the early part of this year at Amberfield, our next project in Canberra, without 1 cent in advertising being spent for that. We're able to with the membership model, again, I'll explain some of the dynamics of that shortly. Have our staff more engaged and more fulfilled because they're not sprinting and gassed from the work that they are required to do. We try and embed some LDK time in their day so they can actually spend time with residents, spend time with each other and have that connection that you need as a human being to be able to get a lot more fulfillment and engagement from your job. The other part of the model is the ongoing part. So 3 different silos: property, easy, membership, we can explain that. Ongoing is what they pay out of their pockets. So weekly fees, recurrent charges, they're capped for life. So whatever that dollar amount is when our residents come to live with us, that's what they pay for the rest of their life. And then we will subsidise that as that increases. It's, again, a very strong part of the model because it delivers certainty to the consumer. That's what they're asking us for. They know some of them have limited resources. Meals and care are what obviously people are really passionate about. We subsidise those things very heavily, and I'll go through that with you as well, so that we can deliver the best quality. So across our business at the moment, we're investing about $12 million in this financial year back into our subsidies across care, hospitality, and the weekly fees and other membership benefits that we have. And I'll explain to you the method behind that as well. But we know if we can invest back into that value proposition, it will create value for us. These are our cash flow drivers. This is trying to explain our business model. Some of you may have seen this before, so I do apologise. But we're a business that makes money from property. So think of care with accommodation as opposed to accommodation with care. People will pay for the property because of the value of the proposition that we are delivering. So our cash flow is quite simple. Village membership fees, either upfront or deferred. The trick is to try and maximise the amount of upfronts that you receive, but keep that balance as well because the deferreds will kick in later on down the track. Development profit, we all know what that is, but then also capital gain. Our model is sensitive to capital gain, as are most models within the industry. We look at capital gain and we communicate this to our team as our performance incentive. If we do a good job, the resident's going to tell their friends, they're going to want to buy. That promotes growth because of the demand that it follows. We use income from that to pay for our value proposition. I mentioned that $12 million. What we do is distill that down in village by village because the villages are at different levels within their evolution. And then we apply a dollar amount per apartment per year that we dedicate it to our subsidies. So what we do, we take 25% of the accrued village membership each year. We take 25% of the accrued capital gain each year. That goes in to pay for our value proposition. So we had to come up with that because we wanted to maintain discipline across the business so that they could operate with some discipline within their operational subsidies, because obviously the business has to be sustainable. I mentioned before that the sort of audible chuckles we used to receive when we would explain our model. And one of the questions was, when are you guys going broke? Because they didn't understand how the model works and how the cash flow is driven. In its most simplistic form, the money will come from the property and the demand that we create by delivering the best outcomes basically assists that. And that delivers our profit, which gets funded. We know that we can't solve the problems that we're all hearing about today, but we can do our best to regenerate that profit back in and build more communities. I'm getting hurried up. The village conversion for the landings. This is the example of a conversion from an existing DMF model into a membership model. We had 97% of residents assigned all of their capital gain to us to sign up for the LDK Village membership model, which was a big leap because we were a brand new business, brand new model, brand new team that said, can we please take all of your capital gain from now on, but we're going to give you some care and services. So that was a long journey. What we did, we locked in the value of the resident's home at the time that we took over. So for example, they'd paid $600,000 for their home. It was worth $1 million when we kicked off. We locked them in at $1 million, and whatever DMF they had accrued, because they were still on the old DMF contract, when they left, that was their membership fee. So they didn't have to put any money in their pocket to pay to become a member, whatever they accrued on exit. So if they'd accrued 15%, we would take $150,000 off that $1 million, and they would get $850,000 when they left. LDK takes all the capital gain above that. And our logic for that is we're investing in people, we are investing in the value proposition, we're investing heavily in the care and services that you have screamed at us that you want. So we're taking the punt, share that punt with us. And as I said, 97% of people converted. It was not a simple process. It took us nearly 10 months to complete the process, but definitely worth it. We put our money where our mouth was because a very valid question was asked by residents. What happens if you can't care for me and I've just given you all of my capital gain? Fantastic question. And one of the key learnings I'll share with you is listening, because that question actually helped to shape our model. So if we can't care for a resident for whatever reason, the landings are surrounded by national parks. So if you have someone, for example, with wandering tendencies, and we can't care for them, they get their capital gain. Very simple and easy, and they got it. So we had to do that. Also, we needed to build trust. A lot of operators in this room already have very strong trust within their cohorts, so won't have to go through that trust building process that we had. We gave them a 6-month cooling off period after we started delivering membership services, so they could still decide to opt out or opt in with no reason whatsoever. So again, it just sort of helped us on that. Anglicare have done it successfully, and we've had an amazingly good relationship with Anglicare. They've converted Woolware Shores, now rolling it out across other villages across theirs. And it can be done at a higher scale or a lower scale in different economic and different demographic regions. So don't be put off thinking it's just a pure private model for all the richies. You can do it. Focus on upfront memberships, and as other people said today, don't wait for the government. Create your own path, and I think we'll get there as an industry.